You're watching ABC 7 News at noon.
Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for joining us. Topping our news today at noon, Sarasota police reporting two different phone scams happening now. The first, a caller may claim to be a member of the police department asking for donations. And the second, a caller will claim to be a lieutenant with SPD, telling people they have a warrant and will be arrested if they don't send a payment. SPD says they never ask for money over the phone or request any personal financial information. High school football teams will be back on the field and under the lights tonight. Before that first kickoff, the new Sarasota County School District Police Force wants to make sure it's a safe season for both players and fans. The officer in charge of game day plans is Mike Halpin. He has experience creating security plans for presidents, national parades, and even the Pope during his time with New York City Police Department. He has spent hours creating what are called operation plans for football games to make sure everything runs smoothly.
We'll have various assignments throughout the game, from roaming patrol to stationary posts to crowd control to making sure the players and referees get on and off the field safely.
And a heads up, if you're planning to go on to games this season, they are encouraging fans to not bring bags or backpacks to stadiums this season. The Braden River High School football program will be without its head coach to start the season. Head coach Kurt Bradley reportedly suspended for the first 3 games of the season, according to ABC 7 sources and published reports. The suspension includes Friday's kickoff classic against Lehigh Acres and the first 2 regular season games. It's related to accessing practice and game footage of a rival team that was only meant for college recruiters. The first full week of school is nearly in the books across the Suncoast, and some students will be heading home with a little something extra today. Students without enough food at home will get backpacks that are full of food that will last them through the weekend. We spoke to the Director of Food and Nutrition for Manatee County Schools, and she says this program is vitally important.
A lot of hungry kids come back to school. That's true throughout the school year, especially on Mondays, where students may not have food available to them over the weekend.
We're told many students are being sent home with backpacks took part in the summer feeding programs. In Manatee County, 200,000 meals were served at 59 sites over the summer. Hundreds of people who can't find jobs in our community are finding work through Goodwill Manasota. Today is National Thrift Store Day. ABC 7's Ray Collins went behind the scenes to learn more about how shopping at these thrift stores does more good than you realize. Ray?
You know, Scott, you can certainly get some good bargains at thrift stores at Goodwill, but there's another benefit that's not quite as apparent. Goodwill's motto is, "Our business is changing lives," and they're not kidding. Some, not all, of the 700 workers at Goodwill Manasota couldn't find jobs elsewhere. Well, many simply enjoy serving the community. Others have criminal records or battled addictions. And when they put on these blue vests, they not only get a paycheck, they get life counseling.
So these really are people who just have simple barriers that we empower them in life. You know, we have a good partner coach program where we stand for the whole person. We don't just simply give a person a job. We actually have life coaches. Every single team member here has a life coach. So whatever they're dealing with, we deal with the entire human being, and it is awesome.
And all funds from the retail stores stay local and help support Goodwill Manasota's services. Win-win. Scott, back to you.
Yeah, it sure is. And it is a fun place to shop, as you say. You can really find some neat stuff.
Interesting things there, yeah. We actually found the star for our Christmas tree there.
Oh, really?
And it was like nothing I could find anywhere else.
Yeah.
I mean, it was kind of retro, and it was neat.
That's perfect.
It's fun stuff. So we're looking at some changing conditions slightly over the course of the weekend. Started off the morning with a little bit of cloud cover, but that quickly yielded a beautiful sunrise and left us with some clear sunny conditions. Then some fair weather clouds started to roll in inland areas, and those will eventually lead to a few scattered showers. A pattern very similar to what we've seen over the last several days. Consistent and persistent showers out in Gulf waters, but nothing affecting land too terribly much through the morning hours, though we are starting to get a few in Highlands County, working their way a little bit closer to our area. As we progress through the afternoon, daytime heating will kick in our sea breeze. Temperatures now rising into the upper 80s, and as we develop that sea breeze, we'll factor in about a 30% chance of showers. Building inland this afternoon, most of them lifting off to the north or to the northwest, a few of them tagging the coastline. This is pretty typical of what we've seen over the last several days. Now, we may see some changes coming up in the next 24 hours as some slightly drier air begins to filter in. We'll talk about that coming up in a few. Scott?
All right, John, thank you. Now to wild weather happening across the country. Severe storms striking Alabama, injuring several people there. And in Oklahoma, heavy rain flooding roads in Tulsa and stranding drivers. Rob Marciano has the story.
Severe weather across the nation. Vehicles submerged in floodwaters as the streets turn to rivers across the southern plains. Winds up to 60 miles per hour knocking over this small plane in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Thankfully, no one hurt. This morning, severe weather in the south injuring 12 people, 3 in critical condition after a tent collapsed outside of Birmingham, Alabama.
There's a tent that has blown over and several people are injured.
Tables flipped, water coolers tossed on the grass. The storm spreading to the south, lightning illuminating the sky in Orlando, Florida. In Oklahoma, nearly 5 inches of rain falling. This car needing to be towed out of the floodwaters. Others diverting off the road for drier ground as torrential rains hit the Sooner State. The wind spreading tree limbs across this yard. A car barricaded in the driveway. And in Minnesota, Vikings fans forced to evacuate training camp due to lightning.
Rob Marciano reporting. For more on the latest breaking news across the country and here on the Suncoast, along with your forecast, go to your app store and look for our free app. Look for WWSB or My Suncoast. ABC 7 business commentator Jeff Stern joins us now with a check of the day on Wall Street on this Friday. We've had 2 up days and 2 down days so far this week.
That's right. They keep flip-flopping,
Yeah.
up and down, but so far the Dow is actually positive, about 1%. S&P is slightly negative for the week. NASDAQ is negative as well, around 0.5% for the week. We saw Deere come in. They had good sales, but they say the materials are costing too much, so Deere is down pretty big today. We know oil's right around $65 a barrel. Even the 10-year Treasury is around 2.85, dropping whatsoever, just a little bit. Woke up this morning, the futures were slightly negative, but let's see how we're currently trading. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is at 25,596, turned around 37 points in the positive, 0.14%. NASDAQ, unfortunately, is negative a little bit, 7,779, down 27.5 points, 0.35%, while the S&P just ever so positive, 2,841, up 0.63, 0.02% in the positive.
Well, Jeff, we've talked a lot about the effect that Amazon is having on retail, but we're seeing really some strong numbers this week from Nordstrom and Walmart.
That's very surprising. Yes, yeah. Seattle. Nordstrom's is from Seattle as well as Amazon, as everybody knows. And 23% improvement in their digital sales, which is over 1/3 of overall sales for Nordstrom. Revenue overall is up 7%. Same store sales is even up 4.1%. Also, the favorite of many of ours, Nordstrom Rack, is up around 4%, same store, there you see it. And Walmart, again, Walmart's up as well. The U.S. sales growth is the best it's been in over a decade, with digital sales up 40%, overall sales up 4.5%, even Sam's Club, which has to compete with Costco, is up 5%. Best numbers we've seen in over 6 years overall, they'd say. So that's going to really encourage them to aggressively roll out their delivery, as well as, you can go pick up your groceries if you order it online. So far, Nordstrom's is up over 20% for the year. Walmart is right around flat for the year, but this is pretty good for everybody, but might give Amazon a little scare.
Yeah.
We'll see how it pans out, but earnings are good so far.
People are spending money, for sure. All right,
that's
Jeff,
the key.
Thank you so much.
Have a great weekend.
You too. Still to come in your Suncoast News, the FDA has finally approved the first generic version of the EpiPen, but you still may have a difficult time finding one. And Florida health officials urging parents to vaccinate their children as more cases of the measles are being reported near the Suncoast.
The ABC 7 Stock Report is sponsored by Sunset Cadillac.
There's a lot of fear in coming back to school. I'm a 40-year-old man that walked in there to get his high school diploma. It was very hard for me, but one of the teachers was Miss Araceli. She gave me direction. Every single time I had a question, she'll put down whatever she's doing and she'll sit there with you until you get it. 50% of getting your high school diploma is walking through those doors. The other 50% is doing the work.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. If you think it's hot outside, just wait until you see even hotter savings inside. Only at Rugs As Art Hot Summer Savings Sale event will you find the lowest prices on a vast selection of stunning rugs, furniture accents, and accessories. This special event only happens once a year, so hurry in before the best selections are gone. The Hot Summer Savings event ends soon, so don't miss out on the best prices ever. Rugs As Art, Sarasota's only area rug superstore.
Ready to open up new opportunities as an electrician? Don't do it yourself. Team up with Mr. Sparky instead. We're locally owned and looking for people like you. We offer our electricians great perks that you just won't get going it alone. And whether you're an apprentice, a master electrician, or somewhere in between, we have a spot for you.
Best decision I ever made.
Apply online or call today.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Did you know that a dirty CPAP system could make you sick? If you knew what could be growing in your mask and hose, it would keep you up at night. Now, SoClean.com has released the world's first automated hands-free CPAP cleaner and sanitizer. With its patented design, SoClean is fast, effective, and hands-free, killing 99.9% of all CPAP germs and bacteria. Try SoClean now through this special TV offer, risk-free for 30 days. Just call 800-604-0398.
The SoClean works, and it's a really effective product, and I couldn't believe how easy it was to use.
SoClean works on all popular CPAP machines and masks, destroying CPAP germs and bacteria without the daily hassle of washing your system by hand. Just place your mask in, close the lid, and walk away. Voila! Sanitized and ready to use. Try SoClean risk-free for 30 days. This is a limited-time offer. Call now, 800-604-0398, or visit SoClean.com today.
Temperatures are rising and the deals are heating up during the summer clearance event at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat in Sarasota. The Ram 1500 has been named a Consumer Guide Best Buy for 6 years in a row. Get an all-new 2019 Ram Quad Cab for as little as $24,999, or save big and get up to $13,000 off a new Ram Bighorn Crew Cab. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat in Sarasota.
Now your ABC7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
So temperatures are warming pretty nicely, almost at the 90-degree mark at 89 already. We have a dew point value of 75, making it feel pretty hot and steamy out there. With a heat index of 99, we'll certainly crack the 100 mark today, probably topping it out at about 103 feels like. Got a mix of sun and fair weather clouds, particularly in inland areas, and a wind that's due out of the east. That east wind will be with us throughout the weekend, and it's what's responsible for the 30% chance of rainfall that I put into the forecast for today. Again, like the last few days, we'll watch those showers build pretty much along the interstate corridor, where the collision of a sea breeze with that easterly wind will kick off those showers and thunderstorms. They'll last till the early evening hours, and then they'll start to dissipate as we head into the overnight. Across the region right now, we don't have a lot of West Coast action going on in terms of any showers, but certainly plenty of moisture around. And the southern tip of the state, where moisture is thicker, have already produced some good rainfall. We have persistent showers out in Gulf waters, and locally I think we'll start to see those showers picking up over the course of this broadcast in inland areas of Hardee and DeSoto County, though everything is pretty quiet right now. High pressure is the dominant weather feature for us right straight through the weekend. There will be subtle differences, but that high pressure ridge will be the driver and the kicker mechanism for the showers that develop over the weekend. A general southeasterly flow or easterly flow continues to collide with our sea breeze. We have a little trough of low pressure kind of working its way over from the other coast, but it has little effect on our weather. It has helped to trigger off some showers south of us, and we have some showers over on the other coast as well. But the trough has little effect on our weather. East wind continues. Probably some fewer weekend showers around, and the west wind, which is opposite of our east wind that we currently have, will return as we head into next week. That could aggravate the red tide situation just a little bit. Futurecast shows quiet conditions here locally until the sea breeze begins to form. We get these showers in inland areas. They generally drift off to the north, but there could be some westerly, northwesterly motion as well. Plus, the outflow boundaries from some of those storms could trigger storms near the coast. That's why we're putting in the 30% chance of showers for us. Inland, East of the interstate, you'll probably have a rain chance of 50 to 60% because of the shower development. And then tomorrow, I think we'll watch for slightly lower rain chances. The storm Ernesto has developed sufficiently that it is now a fully tropical system for probably about the next 12 hours. Tropical storm Ernesto forecast to move over colder waters with higher wind shear and basically just fall apart as it does that. It is, however, on a track that'll take it very close to Ireland as we head into the weekend, so they may get some gale force winds and perhaps some fairly heavy rainfall. And this area of disturbed weather is the only thing that we'll be watching over the course of the weekend, and very little chance for any development here. It's down to about 10% over 5 days. It's got marginal water temperatures. It's got some dry air aloft. It's got some pretty heavy shear to deal with, plus land. So the chances of development there are really next to nothing. Forecast for us calls for an east wind right straight through the afternoon with a little southwest wind near the coast. As that sea breeze develops, 2-foot seas, light chop. And over the course of the next several days, we'll keep the rain chance at about 20 to 30%, a little less rain chance on Saturday, higher rain chances on Sunday and the beginning of next work week as the moisture begins to return to the area. Scott?
All right, John, thank you. And HealthSmart doctors have been studying autism, but still don't know what causes it. But a clue might be found in a pesticide that hasn't been used for decades. Here's ABC's Arlette Saenz.
A pesticide's job is to kill bugs. Now a new study from Columbia University Medical Center published in the American Journal of Psychiatry says that higher blood levels of some chemicals from long-banished pesticides in a mom's blood may be associated with autism in children. The Environmental Protection Agency phased out these specific pesticides like DDT years ago, but small amounts still linger in the soil. Moms with high levels of pesticide DDE had a 32% higher chance of having children on the autism spectrum. The point here isn't to scare moms. There is no way to monitor how much of these chemicals may be in your blood or where it comes from. This study doesn't suggest these pesticide residues from long ago cause autism, just that they might be connected to it. The hope is that this study contributes to the understanding of autism, a piece in the puzzle, and every bit of information helps. With this Medical Minute, I'm Arlette Saenz, ABC News.
The FDA has approved the first generic version of the EpiPen. The approval is part of the FDA's commitment to making sure there are low-cost generic alternatives to popular drugs. So now patients with severe allergies finally have a low-cost option. And yes, it is safe for both adults and children. That approval, though, is not in time to help for a widespread shortage of EpiPens. The shortage, which can be potentially dangerous for kids who are heading back to class, is caused by manufacturing issues and local supply disruptions. Sales of EpiPens typically spike during the back-to-school season. It's not clear how many children could be affected, and the shortage can vary among pharmacies. Well, it's time for lunch, so let's check in now with ABC 7 Culinary Director Judy Gallagher, who joins us today live from Pazzo Southside in Sarasota. Judy?
Hi there, Scott. Well, you may remember them as Mozzarella Fella, and I have loved this family since they first came to New York after they sold their restaurants in New York. I knew by the tug of the bread and the deliciousness of really authentic family Italian food that this was going to be the place. Well, recently this year, they moved over to Southside Village and opened up Pazzo. Truly is a family affair with the sons in the kitchen with dad, mom's running the front, and you're just gonna love it. Reservations are highly recommended. It gets really busy here, not only for lunch, but dinner too, so remember that. They're closed on Sundays, but they serve lunch and dinner the rest of the week. So stay with me throughout the hour as we come to you from the deliciousness, the Italian feast over at Pazzo Southside. We'll be back in just a few minutes to taste some delicious food, and you'll get to meet Victoria herself.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to mesobook.com.
Did you know you could get life insurance for less than 32 cents a day? With Guaranteed Acceptance whole life insurance through TruStage, you can get up to $25,000 in protection with a single phone call. TruStage can help free your family from immediate financial stress when you're gone.
Utility bills, mortgages, car payments, those are a lot of things that can add up pretty fast.
And even if you're on a fixed income, prices fit your budget, starting at less than 32 cents a day. Plus, your price will never increase and your benefit will never decrease. And with no medical tests or health questions, you cannot be turned down for any reason. Call 1-800-842-7189. Now, for a free, no-obligation quote, TruStage offers plans to fit your budget. Help protect your family from immediate financial burdens after you're gone with Guaranteed Acceptance whole life insurance through TruStage. Call 1-800-842-7189. Now.
So I kind of grew up all across the country. I come from 5 generations of military men. My dad is still active duty. My grandpa is retired Marines. I like going for runs with my dog. I love, taking her out to the dog beach over in Venice. There are so many things here to do on the Suncoast. My goal every day when I come into work at ABC7 is to tell your stories, give you that major local news and those details that you really care about. I'm Jacqueline Matter, and I'm here for you.
A decade of war has taken an unprecedented toll on our men and women in uniform.
Hundreds of thousands of our veterans are suffering from the trauma of war.
At Justice for Vets, we believe that every veteran should have the opportunity for treatment and restoration.
Get involved and go to justiceforvets.org.
Help put treatment within reach of veterans in crisis.
Veterans fought for our freedom. Now it's our turn to fight for theirs.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Time now to meet our Pet of the Week. John is with Animal Outtakes host and Dante's Den founder Marsha Panucci to tell us more about 3-month-old Kiyoki. John?
Thank you, Scott. You gotta love kitties, right?
Absolutely.
They're just adorable. Who doesn't like a kitty? Especially a little baby.
And you're just doing all the right things, John.
Nothing like a finger in the ear, you know what I'm saying? Oh, look at that.
But isn't he precious? He's only 3 months old, we think. And his name is Kiyoki. And Kiyoki was a stray on the streets, and he was picked up, and he's saying, "Oh, John, do some more, do some more."
Oh, little kitties are so fabulous. They'll just lay down in your lap and want to be petted, and then all of a sudden they'll get this burst of energy and do something
boom, and they're
fun
gone.
and silly and crazy, and,
and they're gone.
They're just so much fun.
But it's so much fun to get a kitten like this because you can kind of mold them into your habits and your family. They really do adjust to a family. People say, oh, they're cool, they're aloof. Maybe, maybe not. Get them when they're young, and you can really mold them into exactly what you would like.
Or they'll mold you into what they exactly like, which is what kitties tend to do.
Well, it's just like dogs. I'm well trained, aren't
exactly.
you?
Yeah. Of course I am. Of course I am. I respond exactly as prompted.
Absolutely, and I still want my treats, too.
Can you imagine life without animals, though?
No,
I
could not.
Right?
I could not.
How much joy they bring to a
And of
household.
course, this little guy already is harness trained, so you can take Kiyoki for a little walk.
Yeah.
And so that's not so bad.
People don't realize you can do that, but they love to walk.
They love to walk. They love to get out. They love to be with you. I don't see a kitten park as such, but they sure like to go out and smell the fresh air. And this one is just precious. I think you should take Kiyoki home.
Oh, and that'd be great. My 5 dogs would love that. Actually, kitties and dogs do get along
they
together.
can.
If you get it at the right age, it's possible.
And
it's
especially with a little kitten like this.
We've had kitties in our house.
Yeah,
along with the dogs.
this would adapt very, very well with the dogs.
So what's the process of adoption?
Well, this little Kiyoki is presented today by Cat Depot, and so all you simply have to do is call 941-366-2404 and just say, I'd like Kioki, and they'll put you through the process.
Fantastic. Marcia, thanks very much.
Thanks, John.
Good luck, little girl. I hope you get a home real soon. You are adorable. Scott?
All right, thank you both. Let's get back now to ABC 7 Culinary Director Judy Gallagher, who's joining us live today from Pazos Southside in Sarasota. Judy?
You know, Scott, I'm kind of feeling a little guilty because the time you get your lunch break, this will probably all be eaten. We're here at Pazos Southside, and I want to introduce you to Victoria. Victoria, you and I have been friends since the minute you came into town.
7 years.
So give us the family history of what you were doing back home in the north and how you came here.
Yeah, so my husband before me had restaurants in Brooklyn, and then we met when he opened in Staten Island. And then we just decided we wanted Sarasota. You know, we wanted to raise the kids here, and so we came, opened Mozzarella Fella 6.5 years ago, and you know, after so long, it just kind of felt like something, you know, with catering and lunches and things, it just was kind of outgrowing it, and we just decided to take the leap and do what we knew. So here we are.
And it's delightful. It must feel good being in this neighborhood village type of situation.
The neighborhood's amazing. The people that live here, the people that work here, our neighboring restaurants like Nick's and 1812 Veronica's. I mean, we truly became a family, you know?
And that means so much in itself, true. Now, talk about family. There's some extra family in the kitchen, right?
Yeah, we've got Calori's. So it's, I'm running the front, Mike's always on the line. His son Andrew does all of the desserts and pizzas, and he cooks with his dad, and then Michael also does salads and expedites, and then our littles, Grace and Vinny, are always playing baseball in the back or helping Mom reset tables.
I've known Grace and Vinny forever, right? I mean, it's part of all this wonderfulness in this gathering. As far as catering, tell us for a minute or two about what you offer and things that we can do.
We do a ton of catering for office lunches, you know, the hospital, doctor's offices, things like that. We put together trays of everything. I mean, pastas, we do sandwich trays and pizzas, I mean, or they order individually and we'll label them for them so it's not like a mess when they get it back.
So you're probably already taking orders for the holiday season. We're coming in the end of August.
Right? Our cheesecakes are probably the most in demand for Christmas.
You heard it first. The cheesecakes are in demand, which means, of course, we'll probably follow up with the cheesecake. So I'm going to tell everybody to stay put. Maybe pick up the phone and make your dinner reservation for this weekend or next, but we're going to come back in just a few minutes and talk about the great food that you have out here, okay? Don't forget that beer and wine as well. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
Picking out a new ceiling fan? That's a do-it-yourself. Installing your new ceiling fan?
No.
That's a don't do it yourself. For ceiling fans, rewires, or anything electrical, play it safe. And call on the trained electricians from your locally owned Mr. Sparky. It's no accident that so many of our customers are repeat customers. Trust Mr. Sparky for all your electrical repairs.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Like no other. So why should your choices be ordinary? Ghibli, the absolute opposite of ordinary.
Experience it at Sunset Maserati, Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Everybody can make something, because I think everyone has a spark of creativity, and the reason that I have to keep making is because I don't think my life would be as fulfilling without it. If you make things yourself, that means you're not cowering in fear. You're out there taking chances. That, I think, is my way of saying I love you to the world. All right, now I want to hear why you make.
Share your own Why I Make story today. Visit whyimake.org.
Another pair of satisfied emotions. Looks to me like elation and maybe some amazement. It's part of the Honda Summer Spectacular Event experience. You could say satisfaction comes standard here, just like the Honda Accord comes standard with a luxurious, roomy interior. All at the Honda Summer Spectacular Event.
We see it all the time.
Visit your local Honda dealer and test drive the Honda Accord, 2018's North American Car of the Year.
When my youngest
Addie was 2.5. She was diagnosed with leukemia. When we first heard that diagnosis, you feel extremely alone. Walking in that Light the Night light with 6,000 people carrying lights, white for survivors, red for supporters, gold in memory of those who have passed. It's the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society's hope that every year there are fewer gold lanterns. Your lantern will make a difference.
Start a team, join a team.
Help us light the night.
Chris Domine is a husband, father, an athlete, even an Ironman. But 10 years ago, Chris's kidneys were failing.
The doctor said if you don't do dialysis, if you don't get a kidney transplant, you are going to die.
Then Chris received a second chance, made possible by an organ donor.
Your well-being changes from loss of hope to better times ahead.
Imagine what you could make possible. Learn more and sign up as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. Go to organdonor.gov.
Coming up, the Washington State teenager accused of pushing her friend off a bridge is sharing her story for the first time. Plus, with the first week of school almost in the books, there are still plenty of students who cannot afford school supplies. We'll tell you how you can help. And driving from St. Petersburg to Tampa will one day be a little easier after a nearly $1 billion expansion of the Howard Franklin Bridge.
You're watching ABC 7 News at 12:30.
Welcome back. New at noon, attorneys representing the Tampa mother accused of leaving her child in the Hillsborough River to drown, entering a plea of not guilty today. According to the Hillsborough County Court, Shakayla Denson waiving her right to appear in court, and her attorney submitted the plea on her behalf. Denson was arraigned on charges of first-degree murder, aggravated child assault, and grand theft auto. Denson is accused of driving her 4-year-old daughter to the river in a stolen vehicle and then leaving her there to drown. New developments now in the video of a young woman who pushed her friend off a bridge in Washington State, sending her plunging 60 feet into the water below. She could find out today if she'll face charges. ABC's Gio Benitez has the details.
3, 2.
Prosecutors are trying to decide whether charges should be filed against 18-year-old Taylor Smith, suspected of pushing her friend Jordan Holgerson off a bridge in Washington State. That terrifying incident caught on video, sending shockwaves across social media. Slamming into the water 60 feet below. Doctors say Holgerson is lucky to be alive, suffering broken ribs and punctured lungs.
I saw one of my friends jumping off the bridge and I was thinking to myself, like, I want to do that.
Speaking from the hospital shortly after the fall, Holgerson describes how she says her friend came to shove her off that bridge.
She was counting down, but I didn't think of anything of it. And I was like, no, like, don't count down. Like, I won't go if you count down. I'm not ready. And then she pushed me.
Police say Smith has cooperated fully with the investigation, which is now in the hands of the Clark County Prosecutor's Office. This coming after a heartfelt plea from the victim's mother, demanding Smith take responsibility.
This is not okay. She could have killed my daughter.
Holgerson herself now says she wants Smith, who had been her good friend, to sit in jail and think about what she did.
Gio Benitez reporting there. Commercial fishermen are doing their best to stay offshore to avoid the effects of red tide. To get away from fish kills, fishermen in Cortez have been going anywhere from 7 to 20 miles offshore to catch fresh fish. Many say even though this is the worst red tide they've seen in years, they're still catching grouper, snapper, and many other types of fish. But still, business is down at least 30%.
You can see the little bit of the disclarity of the iced tea looking water, and once we get out further than that, we got pure pristine blue waters. It's just like nothing's ever going on at all.
Fishermen will adapt just like the fish are. The fish are on the run. They've moved to the areas where the red tide isn't at, so you've just got to adapt like anything and, find where they're at and go get them.
Many of the fishermen say despite this red tide, the fish they are catching are safe to eat. New information now on the number of dead marine life here on the Suncoast, likely from red tide. Mote Marine Lab scientists tell us they've answered more than 150 calls regarding distressed sea turtles in the area. Most of them were dead. And in only 6 days, they've taken in 12 dead dolphins. Those numbers are just in this area. Florida Fish and Wildlife says they have taken in 3 more dead dolphins to their Southwest Field Lab just south of us. They say they're getting up to 20 phone calls every day regarding distressed marine life. And red tide also causing facilities to close along Lido Beach in Sarasota. City officials say the Lido pool, the pavilion, and concessions will remain closed through next week. The pool closed on Tuesday because of bad smell and poor air quality from red tide. And red tide putting a damper on another popular Suncoast event. The 62nd annual Englewood Pioneer Day started last month and ends September 3rd. It includes everything from a photo contest and historical tours to car shows, a parade. This year, though, the Fish-a-thon, which was scheduled for August 26th, has been canceled because of red tide, and the cardboard boat race has now been moved to the Ann Denver Memorial Park swimming pool. Remember to see all of our coverage of the red tide outbreak. You can go to our website, mysuncoast.com/redtide. You know, I live a little inland, and this morning we had sort of a wind out of the southeast, and it was cool and refreshing, and, you know, it was nice.
Yeah, I think this easterly wind flow is helping even those folks who live along the coast as well, just a little bit. Of course, that's going to shift back to the west next week, but at least currently we're getting a little bit of relief in some places. This is the latest status from Mote Marine observers out there, taking it about 10 o'clock this morning or so. And I can't remember the last time. It's been weeks since I've seen the green flag flying at Lido in terms of absolutely no respiratory illness being reported at the time of the observation. So that's good news. Of course, there are still other places seeing moderate, but no intense reports at the beaches that were sampled. Of course, as you know, that can change very quickly depending on wind direction and conditions at the coastline. But at least temporarily, that's kind of encouraging for the weekend. We're looking at some scattered showers out in Gulf waters, of course, and some down to the south of us. Currently, not a whole lot of action over us, but we do have some moving in from Highlands County, and I think by the end of this broadcast, we'll probably see a few showers in Hardy or DeSoto County, just starting to work their way in. Temperatures are closing in on that 90-degree mark, and I think we'll probably top it out today, similar to the last couple of days in the low 90s. We have about a 30% chance of rainfall and some changing conditions over the course of the weekend, which we'll talk about in just a few minutes. Scott?
John, thank you. Happening right now, early voting is underway in parts of Florida for the upcoming primary. 18 counties have began casting ballots, and then tomorrow, early voting begins here in Sarasota and Manatee counties. New figures from the State Division of Elections show there are more than 600,000 more people registered to vote this year than just 2 years ago in the 2016 election cycle. Happening tomorrow, the Family Network on Disabilities Manitoba will be hosting a Sort and Pack Volunteer Day to help kids in need this school year. You can stop by the Haven on DeSoto Road in Sarasota to help pack school supplies. That event begins at 9 a.m. Well, Florida is preparing to pay nearly $1 billion to build a new bridge connecting Tampa and St. Petersburg. The state expects to pay $814 million for a new 8-lane Howard Franklin Bridge that will be used as a partial expansion of the old one. The 3-mile bridge will include 4 southbound lanes from Tampa to St. Pete, 2 express toll lanes in each direction, and a bike and pedestrian trail. Once that new span is built, the 4 current southbound lanes will be flipped and will go north from St. Pete to Tampa. If you're looking for a new watch or a diamond ring, the 2018 Florida Unclaimed Property Auction may be what you need to see. Nearly 51,000 items are set to be auctioned off Saturday in Tampa. The sale is made up of abandoned items left behind in bank safe deposit boxes. Once a safe deposit box has been abandoned for 3 years, the bank then sends the contents to a state vault where those items are held for another 2 years. But after that time, those items are then auctioned off to the public. The auction will be held at the Tampa Marriott West Shore Hotel beginning at 10 tomorrow morning. Time to get back to ABC 7 Culinary Director Judy Gallagher, who is enjoying lunch today at Pazzo Southside. I can't wait to try it, Judy.
I think you and your family are going to love it. I know you will. We'll bring a few treats back to the station, but Victoria, it's really about the food, so let's go right in
For sure. So here we have pizza. It's broccoli rabe and sausage with fresh mozzarella that we make here all day. Super delicious. Everybody loves it. That's our Uncle Vic. We have fresh artichoke hearts, which is like the best part of the artichoke with no work. So it's just 3 huge fresh artichoke hearts with the lemon garlic butter sauce. That's chicken scarpiello, so it's boneless chicken, pan sauteed with peppers and onions, a little bit of hot cherry peppers, lemon and white wine. For lunch, one of our most popular is fried eggplant with prosciutto, roasted peppers, and fresh mozzarella with a little balsamic.
Sammy, our camera person, is drooling at that, and she's already tagged it.
These are baked clams. It's like a New York staple that you can't really get here. Many people don't make them, so everybody obviously loves them. They come in dozen or half dozen. We have black linguine. That's
you said this was one of your favorites.
Yes, it's squid ink pasta, so it's so yummy. And you can have it with chicken, with shrimp or lobster fra diavolo, so it's a little bit spicy tomato sauce.
Oh, and then if you want to go low carb, you can.
This is our meatball salad, and so it's just romaine with oil and vinegar and lots of Parmesan cheese with 2 of our hot saucy meatballs on top, and it just works.
It does work. So you don't feel too exhausted when you have to go back to work.
Not at all. And there's an option to get it with 1 or 2 meatballs. So
I say always 2.
Yeah.
And of course fried calamari.
Fried calamari that we cut and we bread to order, so it's always super, super fresh.
I love it. Now, notice before you mentioned fresh mozzarella. You are still making and pulling your own mozzarella here at this location.
And here we make it actually more often than we used to, just because we do it in smaller batches, you know?
Yeah.
And so we make it probably 5 or 6 times a day.
Pretty impressive, right, guys? So you're going to see, and lunch and dinner are the same menu, correct, or a little different?
Sandwiches we only do until 4.
Okay, so you have till 4 o'clock in sandwiches, and then you have, I'm watching, there's so much food, we couldn't fit it all on the table. Gentleman over there is having linguine and clam sauce, that fresh garlic, and I have to compliment you on that fennel salad that you can get with shrimp. So light and a true, authentic Italian salad, right?
Thank you. Yes, it is. Just garlic and lemon, really.
And that's what it is. Simple but pure ingredients for deliciousness. We're coming back for dessert in just a few minutes.
If you don't want to fall immediately into love, look away. If you don't want to awaken a desire for excellence, look away. If you don't want to be seduced, please look away.
Rediscover your passion for driving at Sunset Maserati Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
Did you know that a dirty CPAP system could make you sick? If you knew what could be growing in your mask and hose, it would keep you up at night. Now, SoClean.com has released the world's first automated hands-free CPAP cleaner and sanitizer. With its patented design, SoClean is fast, effective, and hands-free, killing 99.9% of all CPAP germs and bacteria. Try SoClean now through this special TV offer, risk-free for 30 days. Just call 800-604-0398.
The SoClean works, and it's a really effective product, and I couldn't believe how easy it was to use.
SoClean works on all popular CPAP machines and masks, destroying CPAP germs and bacteria without the daily hassle of washing your system by hand. Just place your mask in, close the lid, and walk away. Voila! Sanitized and ready to use. Try SoClean risk-free for 30 days. This is a limited-time offer. Call now, 800-604-0398, or visit SoClean.com today.
Ready to open up new opportunities as an electrician? Don't do it yourself. Team up with Mr. Sparky instead. We're locally owned and looking for people like you. We offer our electricians great perks that you just won't get going it alone. And whether you're an apprentice, a master electrician, or somewhere in between, we have a spot for you.
Best decision I ever made.
Apply online or call today.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
I was waiting to see if we'd hit the 90-degree mark before the end of the show, but we're still at 89. We have an east wind at 6. We have a heat index that hasn't quite hit the 100 mark yet, but it will. I bet next hour we're at 100. And the dew point value is at 75, still pretty high. Again, a 30% chance of showers inland a little later on this afternoon. I think the rainfall amounts that we see this afternoon and into the early evening, I think will probably be a little bit less than they were 24 hours ago yesterday. A little bit of drier air, I think, will limit the number of showers that we get today. Certainly it will tomorrow. And then as we head into the evening, we'll start to see those showers dissipate. Right now, everything's quiet across our area, but you can already see the general effect of this easterly wind flow kicking off a few showers down to our south. The east coast sea breeze as such will be moving across the peninsula, basically reinforcing an easterly wind, and that will collide with our sea breeze front. We'll start to see more showers in inland areas. That is a typical summertime pattern for us. We get it about, 70% of the time during the summer, and high pressure anchored out in the Atlantic, the Bermuda High, and the wind flow around the bottom edge of that, bringing us that easterly or southeasterly wind flow is typical. Now, we haven't had typical weather this summer, so it's nice to see those afternoon cooling showers around to help out with the heat. Little trough of low pressure helping to enhance some showers over on the other coast, perhaps, and down to the south, but it's very minor and really not a big deal. A general west coast sea breeze and east coast collision happening for today, tomorrow, the day after, probably on Monday. Probably changes on Wednesday as that easterly flow switches west. Fewer weekend showers, at least for Saturday, probably not so much for Sunday, and then the west wind, as I mentioned, returning. Rainfall futurecast for today shows the heaviest of the rain falling in inland areas, little pockets perhaps of maybe even 2-inch rainfalls, but I think there'll be fewer in number than they were before. Now, this is the moisture available for rain in the atmosphere, how much water vapor can be translated into rain. Here, redder is wetter in the atmosphere, and the bluer contours of the drier air. You can see some of that kind of drier air trying to slip in today, but watch what happens as we head into tomorrow. And this has been kind of consistent over the last several days. The dry air really slips in, brings down the rain chances on Saturday, but then on Sunday, the humid air returns from the south, and we're back to probably a 40 or 50% chance of rainfall on Sunday. So, for beach and boating, not too bad. Southeast wind at about 10 knots, turning a little southwest with that sea breeze in the afternoon near the coast. 2-foot seas, light chop, pretty nice conditions. We have a tide coming up in just a few minutes. Low tide, that's at 1:03. High tide comes at 6:45. And the forecast for the week ahead. Today and tomorrow, we're looking at probably less than average rain chances, certainly on Saturday as that dry air moves in. We'll call it a 20% chance of showers, if that. A lot of people will see no rain on Saturday. That'll be the driest of the weekend days. Sunday, the rain chances significantly go up. Again, mostly afternoon storms, building and then drifting to the coast. Same thing on Monday. Tuesday, the winds shift, and we'll keep the rain chances kind of high, but the pattern reverses. We get the morning showers near the coast, followed by inland showers in the afternoon. Scott?
All right, John, thank you. In consumer news, Amazon sells a lot of movies, and now it's reportedly looking to buy a movie theater chain. Bloomberg says Amazon is among the companies looking to buy Landmark Theaters. The e-commerce giant, one of the companies interested in the chain, and its 50 locations in 27 cities, including New York, Chicago, and L.A. Reports from earlier this year claim the company will focus on producing big movies to lure people into Amazon Prime as well. Well, the cost of medical school is expensive, but some med students in New York will be going for free. New York University, NYU, giving all med school students scholarships that cover the cost of tuition. That's more than $55,000 a year. The school doesn't want costs to deter people from pursuing careers in medicine. The average debt that doctors owe for their med school training, $191,000. Florida will begin reimbursing SunPass drivers who were charged bank fees after a major accounting malfunction earlier this year. Millions of toll transactions statewide were delayed as a result of a billing system upgrade. Some customers were even charged bank fees when they were finally processed. FDOT says starting today, customers can start to ask for reimbursement for any penalties they may have incurred. Still to come in your Suncoast News, we'll check in one more time with Judy. And then NASA honoring the Queen of Soul all the way from outer space. We'll show you how next.
If you're looking for the perfect trip that allows you to spend quality time with the family, then discover the great outdoors on an Alabama Black Belt adventure. Create unforgettable memories while hunting, canoeing, camping, and more. Or challenge yourself on Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, now celebrating 25 years. And while you're here, enjoy a Deep South dining experience. Book your adventure in one of our members' lodges or stay at the Renaissance Montgomery Hotel and Spa. Start planning an Alabama Black Belt adventure today.
Did you know you could get life insurance for less than 32 cents a day? With Guaranteed Acceptance whole life insurance through TruStage, you can get up to $25,000 in protection with a single phone call. TruStage can help free your family from immediate financial stress when you're gone.
Utility bills, mortgages, car payments, those are a lot of things that can add up pretty fast.
And even if you're on a fixed income, prices fit your budget, starting at less than 32 cents a day. Plus, your price will never increase and your benefit will never decrease. And with no medical tests or health questions, you cannot be turned down for any reason. Call 1-800-842-7189. Now, for a free, no-obligation quote, TruStage offers plans to fit your budget. Help protect your family from immediate financial burdens after you're gone with Guaranteed Acceptance whole life insurance through TruStage. Call 1-800-842-7189 now.
About every 3 minutes in America, someone is diagnosed with a blood cancer. Light the Night brings together survivors and supporters to bring light to the darkness of cancer and to help fund life-saving research. Our goal is a world without blood cancers, and we're lighting the path to cures. The discoveries made in blood cancer research have led to breakthrough treatments for many cancers and other serious diseases. Help defeat the darkness of cancer. Join Light the Night today.
WWSB ABC7 is an equal opportunity employer, and we're looking for qualified people to join our dynamic team. For a list of current openings and to apply online, visit www.mysuncoast.com/contact/employment. If you're a motivated team player and you want a rewarding career in a fun, fast-paced working environment, WWSB ABC7 could be the perfect fit for you. Check out our list of openings now.
Thanks to the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, what was once impossible is happening today for thousands of patients with blood cancer.
I live.
I live. I live. I live.
I live.
She lives.
Because of the research done by the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society in the battle against blood cancer.
If you had a chance to support the research that is saving lives, what would you do?
It's been another delicious visit, yet again, at Pazzo Southside. I think you're really going to enjoy it. There's so many people that are here that I know that have eaten at Mozzarella Fella, their former restaurant, and it's so good to see them grow, the whole family. Of course, we have to end it on dessert. Their infamous cheesecake, tiramisu, and cannolis. I also want to take a moment to dedicate this segment to the great restaurateur, Steven Seidensticker. He was a good friend. He was a complex man. We shared many a meal together, and he will be so greatly missed, but his legacy will continue on with Miss Susie and his other businesses, and we applaud him for making Southside such a great village. Enjoy your weekend and have it be tasteful. Back to you guys.
All right, Judy, well said. Thank you so much. Well, coming up later today on ABC 7 News at 4, there are reports of maggots and dead fish on Casperson Beach. We'll hear from a beach director and the impact it's having on beachgoers. And then a public school in Sarasota has been ranked #1 in America for 19 years. We'll hear how it continues to maintain an A grade from the state. Hope you'll join us later today at 4. In entertainment news, it's a big weekend expected at the box office, and tributes continue to pour in for Aretha Franklin. For the latest on what's happening in Hollywood, here's ABC's Jason Nathanson.
Tributes continue to pour in for Aretha Franklin. Jennifer Hudson posted a video on Instagram of Franklin singing "Let It Be," writing Franklin taught her so much about life, and she'll never forget those teachings. And at Franklin's star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Her legacy is written in my heart.
Hudson, by the way, is supposed to play Franklin in an upcoming movie about the iconic singer. At the box office this weekend could be a cash infusion for Crazy Rich Asians. The romantic comedy set in Singapore could open in the top spot with maybe $25 million Friday through Sunday. A total of $35 million since it actually hit theaters on Wednesday. Mark Wahlberg's military thriller Mile 22 looks to open in third behind The Meg with about $15 million. And the Ice Age adventure story Alpha about a boy and a wolf won't be anywhere near the top of the pack with under $10 million. It's official, the guy behind Blackish is leaving ABC. Kenya Barris has signed a deal for new shows at Netflix, which recently also grabbed Scandal creator Shonda Rhimes and American Horror Story creator Ryan Murphy. Barris's deal is for 3 years. And a big birthday Friday for Robert De Niro, the Oscar-winning actor turning 75. And another leading man, Sean Penn, he turns 58. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Well, it's an out-of-this-world tribute to Aretha Franklin. NASA naming an asteroid after the Queen of Soul. It's the one that keeps orbiting around Mars. Finally, a Kansas man's tomato garden is getting a lot of attention. Look at this, John. Several of his plants are 10 feet tall. By comparison, the average tomato plant, 3 to 5 feet tall. David Guile owns the garden. He's not saying how he got the plants to grow so tall, but he says he's been gardening almost all of his life and has never seen anything like this. He's hoping his garden could surpass the world record for the tallest tomato plant, but they have a ways to go. That record, 65 feet tall. What? How do you get the tomatoes up there?
Wow, ladders, I guess. That's amazing.
I know, isn't it?
That's a lot of yield. A lot of fertilizer, too, I suspect.
Like you have to support tomato plants with kind of a grid, right?
Yeah, usually, yeah, you do. I don't know how he does it. Pretty amazing. Where is he?
Kansas.
Kansas.
Yeah. Have a great day and a weekend ahead, everyone. See you again at 4.